see this deer over here. Holy.
Dude, what was that?
These encounters don't always begin with danger. They begin with one detail that shouldn't be there. From strange wooden objects appearing outside a tent at 3:42 to glow sticks surrounding a campsite before gunshots rip through Devil's Forest. How long would you stay before running? On December 13th, 2025, Sophie from Outdoor Girl. Sophie headed out alone for a camping trip in a forest near a lake in Denmark, not far from the area where she grew up. Her channel focuses on peaceful solo camping and genuine outdoor experiences. With rain, wind, and darkness coming in early, the familiar place gradually started to feel uncomfortable. As Sophie walks toward her campsite, the soaked ground, cold air, and fading light make the forest feel heavier than normal. Even though she knows this area well, the quiet surroundings and early nightfall create a stronger feeling of being alone. Nothing has happened yet, but the landscape already feels less welcoming.
So I'm walking towards the campsite and I see this deer over here. Oh, I thought it was fake, but now it moved. What should I do? Should I go there? Is he gonna be angry? I'm a little bit afraid. Now he's just enjoying himself. I'm gonna try and go a little bit closer. So now it's lying down right behind this table. Maybe this is his spot or hers. So I guess I should find another place. I was planning to stay at this shelter here. It has a nice fire pit. So I'm actually really unsure what to do, because now I'm worried if it's sick. It's just lying so still. I'm wondering if I need to call animal control in Denmark, but maybe it's normal. I don't know. I think I'm gonna try and call someone. I don't want it to be lying there in pain. Ikke når jeg nærmer mig tæt på den, eller siger høje lyde. Yes, tak. Lady told me to go close to it and check if I could see any wounds or diarrhea around it. But I was a little bit afraid to go too close and I couldn't see anything. She thinks that it might be because they're in mating season now, but she also asked me to send some pictures and videos and then she would get back to me about what to do. But I'm also a little bit afraid to go close to it. If it's a male in mating season, they can be a bit dangerous. Now I've sent the pictures and a video to Animal Protection. Let's see what they find out. Luckily I have my tent and then I'm gonna put it up over here.
At the shelter beside the lake, Sophie spots something she initially believes is a wooden figure. It is actually a deer standing completely motionless, rather than running away. The animal stays in place and later lies down near the picnic table. As more time passes and the deer still does not leave, Sophie begins to worry. Unsure whether it might be hurt, she contacts Animal Protection Services. She is later told the deer is probably worn out from mating season, but it remains close as daylight disappears.
The lady from Animal Protection just called me back. She says that even though the deer looks okay, it's very unusual that I can go that close. So she is gonna send out a guy who's gonna have a second look and see if there's anything that needs to be done. I'm gonna keep an eye out for him. Now I really think that it's sick. It has laid its head down into the ground. Even though I'm going very close by it, it's just laying completely still. I hope that that man is coming soon and that he's able to find me. I just called the animal protection and they cancelled the guy who was on his way out here. Apparently they think, based on the video I sent, that it's just very tired from the mating season. It's just laying there waiting for a new partner. So now I'm gonna find another place to start a campfire. Now I need to get my fire going. I hope that I can, even with this very wet firewood that I found. So I was standing next to the tent and suddenly I saw the deer approaching me. I ran off, or I walked away, and the deer came all the way up to the tent, starting just smelling it. And now it's eating grass right next to the tent. So I went over to the second shelter and then I saw some eyes light up in the dark behind the shelter. So now I'm a little bit worried that maybe it's a female deer looking to meet up with the deer next to my tent. And yeah, so now I crawled into this shelter. I've always heard that in mating season you should not go near it. It's getting later and later in the evening. I haven't made a fire yet, so I cannot cook any dinner without a fire. Do you see the eyes of the deer? It is just standing right next to my backpack, eating grass. So I have a lighter in my pocket, but my fire starters are in my backpack. And I don't have that much success starting a fire without that support. The food is also in my backpack. Maybe he will go away soon. I don't have any luck with this campfire. I think the wood is too wet. So I did manage to get my backpack now. The deer moved a few meters away from the table. So now I have all my stuff except for the tent, where the deer is still standing right next to it. I actually think that I'm gonna go home. Just as I was about to get up and leave, I called my dad and he calmed me down. Probably more afraid of me than I am of it. I have tried for almost an hour to get it going, and yeah, I think the wood is too wet. Now I'm sitting inside my tent. I am really hungry and I have to try and see what I can cook for my dinner.
After setting up her tent in almost total darkness, the deer comes near again, moving close to her backpack. Knowing animals can be more unpredictable during mating season, Sophie chooses not to cook outside. The wet wood keeps her from making a fire, and for a moment, she thinks about leaving, even calling her father for comfort. When the deer finally moves away, she decides to stay.
Good morning. It has been very windy this night, and I actually see that one of the pigs have come out, so the tent is kind of collapsed. Luckily I have all my gear inside of the tent where I'm sleeping, so actually nothing happened.
The night itself stays calm, but by morning, strong wind has partly pushed the tent down. With rain coming back, Sophie packs everything away, leaves the area clean, and walks back toward the trail, ending the trip safely but still uneasy. Some viewers see the deer as simply curious and harmless, while others point out that fearless wildlife lingering for too long can become unpredictable. When nature stops acting the way you expect, do you trust the explanation or the instinct telling you to remain careful? On December 9th, 2025, Gavin from the YouTube channel. Groovy, Gavin examined several of the creepiest real animatronics still being displayed. His channel looks into disturbing locations and the psychology of fear, moving through different places in the United States and beyond. Gavin tries to understand why certain human-like machines create uneasiness, even when there is no actual threat.
I'm starting in a little place you've probably never heard of called Billy Bob's Wonderland. As you can see, there's literally no one here. There's one other car. That might be the owner. It is open though. Oh my gosh. Here they are. There's a ton of animatronics here that all come from an old pizza place called Showbiz Pizza. When I first walked into this little arcade slash pizza place, I ran into one of the only people there, one of the workers. Do people come here usually just for this?
Oh yeah. They'll sit there all day and just push the button.
And all the buttons play a show. Back to the animatronics and how creepy I think they are. A lot of the creepiest videos I see of animatronics, it's all like really bad quality. So I think that kind of adds to the creepiness. So starting off with the left of the stage, the Rolf and Earl Show. These two guys don't sing like the rest of them. They're meant to be a side stage comedy act between an alpha wolf and his ventriloquist dummy.
On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me. I got it.
Moving over to the center of the stage is the Rockafire Explosion Band. We got Duke LaRue on the drums. His eyes are tweaked out. He's definitely the most chill out of all of them. We got Beach Bear, who has some really creepy old videos. And Mitzi Mozzarella. She kept winking at me. Next, we got the monkey. That's Geronimo on the keyboard. But the main mascot and star of the show is Billy Bob himself, who is just over on the right. He actually just looked at me. We got Billy Bob, who I know a lot of people say online is one of the most terrifying animatronics that still exists today. He also has this friend Looney Bird, who I do think is a lot more creepy. And I even found some videos of him being made. They all play different shows. I can't play any of the audio, unfortunately, because it will copyright me, but it changes from time to time, and it definitely makes the whole thing a bit more uncanny. I think the biggest reason they're creepy to me is their eyes. That's the first thing I look at people. It really does feel like they're looking at you. So I'll group all of these together and give them an uncanny rating of 7.5.
Gavin starts at Billy Bob's Wonderland, where animatronics from the Showbiz Pizza era are still kept. These characters were originally made for live stage shows, but years of age and alterations have changed the way they look. Their faces, especially their eyes, no longer show clear emotion, causing the mood to shift from playful to uncomfortable as the investigation goes on.
We're in San Francisco. We traveled very far here for one thing and one thing only, and this animatronic is called Laughing Sal. People seem to say this is one of the most creepy or uncanny ones. So, Musée Mécanique. Here it is. Dude, it's so loud, bro. Why did they make this? If I was a kid, I would 100% have nightmares about this. It's the sound that makes it so bad. Like, it actually sounds scary. The purpose of this was to stand outside of rides or attractions and just non-stop laugh. It was to get people's attention. It became standard practice for any carnival or fair to have one of these. I think what makes this one so weird is the movements are so unnatural, and then the laughing, whoever recorded that, it just sounds terrifying. I'm gonna have to give this one an uncanny rating of 6. I just don't think it was that creepy to me. But what was cool about the place that had Laughing Sal is they had a ton of other animatronics. This one's kind of creepier. I'm not gonna lie, this one's so much more uncanny to me. Look at the eyes, bro.
Bro, imagine all of them laughing at the same time in the middle of the night.
Oh my gosh, that would be awful.
The next location is Laughing Sal at San Francisco's Musée Mécanique, built to attract attention with loud laughter and repeated movement. The animatronic relies more on mechanical repetition than true performance. Years of wear have changed its timing, making the encounter feel invasive instead of amusing.
We're here with the animatronics. They are creepy, but it's kind of familiar, man. It's kind of comfy. I feel like a little kid again. But what's crazy about these that I mentioned earlier is all of these were converted from the ones at Showbiz Pizza to these ones now here at Chuck E. Cheese. First, we got Helen Henny. She was the creepiest. Her eyes are terrifying. And then we got Mr. Munch. This is the man on the keyboard. He kept clocking me, just staring at me. But I believe this is what the gorilla was turned into. Then we got Jasper T. Jowls, probably the same as Beach Bear, I believe. Pascally P. Pieplate. This is the drummer. This is probably what the dog got turned into from Showbiz Pizza. And then finally, we got the main man, Chucky himself, which obviously, like I mentioned earlier, this is what Rolf turned into. Definitely when you get closer to them, they're all a little bit creepier. I don't know if they were glitching out, but when the curtains lowered when they weren't playing music,
they like keep moving after. It's kind of creepy. Oh shit! That's kind of scared me.
Oh my gosh.
We see you. Is he still moving?
Yeah.
Why is he still moving? Like down.
And that was the final animatronic that I visited. And I did feel the most uncanny at this one.
At a Chuck E. Cheese location that still uses animatronics, Gavin captures an unexpected moment after the show finishes. Once the curtains shut, the figures keep moving without synchronized choreography. While this can be explained as a normal mechanical condition, the unscripted motion after the performance becomes the most disturbing moment of the investigation, even when there is no danger. Unclear eye focus and movement at the wrong time can create a strong psychological discomfort. When machines are designed to copy life, where does harmless entertainment stop and unease begin? He wakes up in the middle of the night, steps outside his tent, and finds something that had not been there before. But what happens afterward is even worse than he imagined. On February 19th, 2026, the YouTube channel Exploring with Brad uploaded a video filmed in the forests near Monocliffs in Orangeville, Ontario, Canada. In the video, he heads alone into a quiet wooded area to spend the night. The location carries an unusual reputation, and people nearby have spoken for years about a mysterious local legend known as the Blue Man. He had heard those stories even as a child.
Our own teepee, our own fort. This forest has always given me nightmares as a little kid because of the story about the Blue Man.
Setting the mood for what could become an unsettling camping encounter. Before darkness arrives, he walks farther into the forest, looking for a suitable place to set up camp. As he moves through the area, he notices large animal tracks in the snow but cannot identify what made them.
It's hard to say at this point. So that's just a person or a snowmobile or sled or something like that. I'm the only car parked here today. Usually I always go to this place with Angelo just because of how scary it is. That's for darn sure. Alright, I'm gonna actually take a look. Yeah, so park boundary, you can't go down that way. Let's go down here. I actually wanted to build my fort down here today and see what we got. Betty was freaking out. She's like, you better be careful. She knows this place too. She's just like, doesn't want me here. There's that, but that's not. Needs something that's kind of big. That's an overhang there.
A short time later, he finds another strange pattern of tracks grouped in sets of 3, clearly unlike ordinary human footprints.
We'll see. We'll do a little bit of exploring. Let's go down here for a little ways. They've cleared us a path, it looks like it. Okay, that's a person, I think. It's going down that way. I don't know what people are doing down here. Tracks. Yeah, those are fresh. I don't know if somebody else is here or what's going on, guys. I know people live out here. Like, there are houses that are nearby this thing. Over here, it looks like there could be a lot of firewood and stuff. I don't know. Literally, I could use a lot of different spots I'm seeing right now, but I'm kind of just wanting to investigate for now. The last time we were here, me and Angelo, we set up a tent down here. All these fresh tracks must have been made earlier today. There's people playing and farting around. Sign here. Okay, that's a break. I don't know.
All of them appear fresh, suggesting they were left earlier that same day. Suddenly, a strange sound comes from the trees, as if something is moving fast nearby.
What the hell was that? Sounds like some sort of animal. Like a bird or something of some kind. It sounds creepy though. Came out this way. I messaged a few friends of where I was going today and they were like, they were saying, just because of how dangerous this place can be, especially at night. So, and it's quiet. I don't know what this is. Look, it's like threes. That is something. I don't know what it is. That is not a person though, because it's in threes. I brought my coyote mace just in case, but it's highly unlikely we're gonna bump into one of them. So the worst part about animals like that though is that they're freaking nocturnal, so they can see you. Like, they don't need the light, so if they take your light away, being alone here though has to be terrifying, especially with the story that I'm about to tell you guys. Like, it is eerie.
The woods go quiet again, but more tracks appear in the snow. Still impossible to explain. Being alone in that area starts to feel disturbing.
You know what I mean? That's what scares me. Out in places like this is like, I really don't know what's out here.
Especially with the story he is preparing to tell. Even while setting up his shelter, he keeps hearing movement around him, and he admits that camping alone in this forest feels uncomfortable because of the old legends tied to the place. Later that night, he sits beside the fire and retells the local legend of the Blue Man, a strange figure said to have appeared in these woods many years ago. According to the story, people who followed odd lights or whispering sounds in the forest sometimes vanished.
So this is about the phenomena that happens in these woods, okay guys? I forgot to even mention it to you guys. So this is called the Blue Man. So it started as a local legend, nothing more, then a whispered tale in the small town of Mono. They called him the Blue Man. The story goes that in the late 1800s, a traveling showman came to the town. He was an odd-looking man, his skin a pale, unnatural blue, and his eyes, well, they were darker than night itself. He carried with him a strange shimmering lantern, which he claimed was a gift from a distant land. He promised to show wonders the townsfolk had never seen, strange illusions that would make their hearts race and their minds reel.
After he finishes telling it, the woods become extremely quiet again. He suddenly stops, believing he can hear someone walking somewhere out in the darkness. Not long afterward, he falls asleep, but something unsettling happens around 3:42 in the morning. He wakes suddenly after hearing a noise outside the tent, as if something is moving right beside it.
Sorry, I thought I heard walking. Back down that way, I heard like...
When he checks outside, he finds small wooden objects placed near the tent, shaped like strange little eggs.
What is this? Okay, so I just woke up. It's about 3.
The discovery makes him deeply uneasy, and he decides he cannot remain there any longer, turning the camping encounter into something far more serious. As he starts leaving the area, he hears something else, a person calling for help somewhere in the forest.
What was that? I can't stay here. There's something out there. We better go. I better go. I can't stay here. That was creepy. Alright, I'm gonna pack my things and we're gonna go. Alright, so we're gonna get out of here. First, I might do an explore the other side. We haven't checked it out yet, so...
Worried, he follows the sound toward nearby cliffs. Along the way, he discovers a hat on the ground, making him think someone may actually be in trouble.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going on. I could hear somebody screaming help. Sounded like some guy. Okay, let's go. Let's go check it out. Oh man.
Then the situation becomes even stranger when he finds a pair of handcuffs lying on the ground.
Yo, it's a hat. Oh man. Oh man. Dude, I'm gonna help you. Just hold on. I just found his hat.
adding another layer of mystery to the encounter. As he gets closer to the cliffs, he suddenly sees or hears something that terrifies him. Whatever it is, it causes him to panic and run away from the area immediately.
Oh, freak! Holy freak! Holy freak! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Oh, freak! What the? Oh man! What the hell was that? What the hell was that? Oh, freak sakes! Oh man! Oh man! Oh man! Oh, freak sakes! What was that? Oh man! If it comes after me, I don't know if I can run anymore. Too much. Oh, somebody handcuff him? Looked like he was able to get out though. I feel bad. I can't stay here though. I can't do it. Okay. Let's go, Brad. Let's go back.
Even without a clear explanation, the night leaves him with one disturbing thought. Maybe the old stories about this forest are not only stories after all. Sometimes a camping encounter offers no real answers. But if you heard a voice calling for help in the dark, would you follow it or leave before it was too late? The next disturbing video comes from Expedite Travels, a North American van life and expediting channel that records solo trips, freight routes, and real moments from the road. It is October 9th, 2020, at South Memphis RV Park and Arc Trail in Mississippi, United States. The vlogger begins walking a trail near a lake, passing benches and a pavilion as he goes. The area is open, calm, and clearly empty. He takes in the quiet surroundings, noting that the trail is monitored but still open at all hours. As he keeps walking, the peaceful location creates a steady mood. Relaxed but slightly strange because no one else is around.
Alright guys, I just had something freaky ass crap happen to me. And I am not lying, this is not a joke. I know I messed around before about the Bigfoot thing. I was walking and I seen, I don't even know how to explain it, man. It was like a red, it almost looked like somebody wearing like a red jacket, or you know what I mean, like a jacket, like it was far off in the distance.
Then the atmosphere changes almost immediately. The woods drop into an unnatural silence, the birds fade out, and the usual background noise disappears, replaced by faint rustling that cannot be clearly located.
It was something, I missed something, maybe it was a tag or something on a tree, or somebody put some kind of marker or something up, and I couldn't see nothing. It was gone when I came back. It's like dead quiet here. That's not good. Usually there's like flies around me, but usually there's birds chirping close by. It's like...
He goes back to check the same area, but whatever he thought he noticed is no longer there, turning the moment into a quiet but growing camping encounter. Soon after, he hears more movement behind him. Small shifts in the brush and uneven sounds keep him on edge. Birds briefly return at certain moments, but their inconsistency only makes the situation feel more uncertain.
Like a loud, almost like whistle or screech or something. It was freaking weird, man. I don't know, like the hair on the back of my neck is standing up like somebody, I feel like somebody's watching me. It's dead quiet in here now. And it was when I first came in, you could hear birds, and this is near the exit. It's about, I don't know. So there's...
The forest then becomes completely silent again, with almost no natural sound left. Suddenly, a sharp, high-pitched whistle or screech cuts through the quiet. The sound carries across the trail, making it feel as if something is nearby. With poor visibility and no clear explanation, this becomes the most intense part of the encounter. What starts as a calm walk along an empty trail quickly turns into something much more unsettling. Even though no obvious source is ever found, the chain of events leaves behind a strong sense of unease that stays with the viewer. A camping encounter does not always reveal itself clearly, but when the forest suddenly falls silent and something calls from far away, would you trust what you heard or convince yourself it was nothing and keep walking? The video comes from Rick and his van, a UK-based van life and camping channel centered on simple overnight park-ups, countryside stops, and road trips. often visiting places tied to local history and haunted legends. It is January 14th, 2024, in Hartley-Maudie, Hampshire, England, United Kingdom. Rick arrives in Hartley-Maudie, a place known for both its past and its reputation as one of Hampshire's most haunted villages. Setting up a quiet but uneasy camping encounter, he explains that most of the original village and manor house are now gone, leaving St. Leonard's Church as the only major structure still standing. Local stories speak of hidden cellar remains, underground tunnels, sightings of ghostly coaches, and even reports of music coming from the church at night.
I mean, it's pitch black. I'll show you.
Right, look that up. Remember what happened the last gate that we had? Okay, it looks slightly different at night. You see those?
Once darkness arrives, Rick leaves the van with a torch and walks around St. Leonard's Church. The churchyard feels very different after dark, with stained glass windows glowing faintly and gravestones disappearing into the shadows. He moves cautiously, listening for anything strange, but most of the tension comes from the isolation, the poor visibility, and the history attached to the place.
Shit. Sorry. I mean to swear then. It's got to be an owl that's in the trees. It's got to be an owl that's in the trees. There you go.
A sudden loud sound cuts through the silence and immediately startles him. He thinks it might have been an owl, but the source is never seen. As he walks back toward the van, rustling follows him through the trees, becoming louder as he continues. When he points his torch into the darkness, 3 small points of light reflect back. He considers that they may be animal eyes, but he never confirms it.
I make some dinner in the van. Hang on. Got a slight issue. I was going to make some dinner in the back of the van, and then there was a guy pulled up in a Defender and said to me that I can't stay here. When I asked why, his words to me were, "This is the fishing club's car park, and you can't stay here tonight, mate. Can you go?" I'm going to be gone first thing, and he refused to let me stay and said that I'll be blocked in. Well, there we go. The bloody light's fallen down. So, change of plan. I'm going to have to try and find somewhere else to sleep. So currently, driving down through the... I'm going to have to try and find somewhere else to park up and get me dinner. So, I'll be back with you momentarily, as they say. Because I mean, it's like 10 o'clock at night. Do you know what I mean? You let me stay there, but alright, I guess, you know, if it's your land, then you don't want me staying there, that's fine.
The most direct moment of the night happens unexpectedly, just as Rick is preparing to settle in. A man arrives and tells him he cannot stay there, explaining that the area is a fishing club car park and that he could risk being blocked in. Rick decides to leave and continues driving through the countryside late at night, looking for another place to park. The night at Hartley-Maudie does not provide any clear paranormal evidence, but the location still creates a strong sense of unease. The darkness surrounding the church, the unexplained sounds, and the distant lights in the trees all add to the tense atmosphere. However, the most disruptive part of the night does not come from the haunted location itself, but from being forced to leave without warning. After relocating, Rick finds a quieter and more suitable spot to spend the night. Sometimes, it is the atmosphere, the noises, and the unknown that make an encounter feel real. If you were there on August 31st, 2025, Brent Underwood, the creator behind the YouTube channel Ghost Town Living, steps into an active gold mine that was first opened over 125 years ago. His channel follows life, work, and restoration across abandoned towns and historic mining locations. This time, Brent is working far underground in a high-altitude mine close to the Canadian border, where entry is restricted, the environment is unforgiving, and even small errors can leave lasting consequences.
All right, amateur training out of the way. I am officially a miner, and so it is time to get to work. Jason, what we got going on?
Now that you're an official miner, we got 12 hours. We're gonna go underground to the gold vein. Today we're gonna drill it out, we're gonna blast it, and then we're gonna come back in, muck it into bags, and see how much ore we can get for the day.
Off ladder.
So this is the jack leg we're going to be using to drill this round out. This thing probably hasn't changed much in about 75 years. So this is kind of old technology, but it still works really well.
Before its invention, drilling holes for explosives was done by hand, with a hammer and a chisel. A miner would strike and twist a steel rod into the rock, slowly carving out each hole.
This drill weighs about 120 pounds. That's the point I'm trying to make there. The leg is 2 stages, and it's run by air. So the more air you give the leg will extend and push the drill into the bottom of the hole, and that's what makes it. It's not me sitting here pushing the drill in. It's all pneumatically powered.
The jack leg. It's a 100-pound pneumatic drill that vibrates so violently it shakes your entire body and the rock around you. That's why it's risky. You're not just drilling, you're destabilizing. All right, so we're about 2 hours into it. We got all the holes drilled. And Jason, how you feeling after that?
Oh man, it's always fun getting back on the jack leg, but it really takes it out of you. It's heavy, it's loud, it's just a beast to handle. But we got all 16 holes drilled in 2 hours. I'm pretty impressed with that. We did pretty good.
Inside the passage, Brent starts drilling straight into a quartz vein. The jackleg drill fights back with steady pressure, forcing him to stay in full control as the sound and vibration fill the tunnel. He explains how miners in the past once made these holes by hand, while today's equipment can turn days of work into only hours. As he completes the drilling layout, the job begins to feel less like advancement and more like survival through repetition. Every motion counts in this place, because the mine responds instantly to force. What happens next depends completely on the accuracy of this stage.
Next step in the process is the explosives. We've got AMFO, caps, some boosters, and a zero. We got to go load all the holes that we just drilled, set it up so they time just right so it all blasts out into our muck pile, and then we can make it all go boom. I love this building. 16 holes, correct?
All right, so about 4 hours in or so, and this is what the wall looks like. That is going to blast out of here, hit that, go down, and that's what the gold will be.
So we've got everything hooked up. The last stage is to connect the battery, which ignites the zero and continues and shoots the whole round.
Oh, well, this is an exciting moment because we did the blast, and now we got to go up and see the result of the blast and of all the ore.
Well, this is just about the worst case scenario. This is a chunk that was about halfway through our round and came from about 50 feet that way. Now we got a mess.
So the first hazard you guys got to deal with is tripping hazards. The second is all of the spikes are unaccounted for. I don't know where they are. If you step on them, it's going to go through your foot. Hey, the GoPro's alive.
Hey!
My headlight's alive.
My camera is right around here.
What?
Once the holes are ready, Brent helps pack ANFO explosives into the rock face. He understands that the blast has to split the vein properly without throwing the tunnel into disorder. When the charge detonates, the impact travels farther than anticipated. Rock shoots down the passage, strikes nearby equipment, and sends dust through the air. In only seconds, the area becomes unpredictable, showing how narrow the safety margin is beneath the surface. The mine returns human effort with a level of power that cannot truly be controlled.
A lot of this will be cleanup. We were hoping to come in and just have easy to muck bags, you know, that way you can get this ore out of here, get the gold out. Now we got waste mixed in with ore. All right, so the waste rock mixed in with the ore, so what we're going to be doing now is picking up the ore when we can find it, throwing it in a bag. Next came the mucking, probably the most demanding part of mining. It means removing broken rock. In our case, it involved manpower, picking up rocks and moving them. Sometimes you're bagging high-grade ore, other times you're just moving junk, and sometimes you're separating the ore from the waste.
right there at my fingertip.
Yep. I see it.
It's gold. Here's a piece I just pulled out of the muck pile, and there's a nice little gold kind of wire sticking out there. There's gold speckle all across the top here. This is a nice piece.
All right, so in the end, we got 176 bags at about 25 pounds a piece, so about 4,400 pounds or 2¼ tons. And Jason, this stuff's running
about an ounce a ton.
So we're about 2 ounces today.
Yeah, a little over 2 ounces.
After the explosion, Brent moves on to mucking, the hardest physical part of the process. He shovels fractured rock, separates ore from waste material, and loads heavy bags one after another. Dust lingers inside the tunnel as fatigue continues to build. Along the broken quartz, Brent notices visible gold locked inside the stone, proving the vein still carries real value. By the end of the shift, the crew has stacked 176 bags, almost 2 tons of material believed to contain roughly 2 ounces of gold. Back at camp, the outcome feels deserved, but the price of earning it is difficult to overlook. There is still gold in this mine, but getting to it demands far more than physical strength. Many viewers respected the skill and the reward, while others paid closer attention to the silent risks, dust, exhaustion, and how fast control can vanish underground. If a mine continues to hold real gold after more than 100 years, why are so few people prepared to remain there and keep digging? On December 16, 2025, Iesko, the creator behind the YouTube channel Jasko, spends the night camping in Devil's Forest during a snowstorm. His channel centers on haunted places and dangerous nighttime investigations. Joined by Chandler on his first ever camping trip, he enters a forest tied to disappearances, violent events, and an old cemetery, while the temperature drops below zero.
Tonight, we're going to be camping inside of one of the world's most haunted forests. Let me tell you a little bit about this forest. So, there was a man by the name of Bernard Hatch who used to tie his victims to the end of his truck, drag them up dirt roads all throughout this forest, and then dismember their bodies all throughout. But not only that, there was a doctor, Dr. Steuben, who used to perform crazy experiments on his patients, and if he messed up, he genuinely just killed them. It is rumored that he buried them in a cemetery deep in this forest under fake names so no one would question it. Then there's also a lake where it was believed that the mafia dumped bodies into it. Now, apart from that, it is also believed that this forest is haunted by this white-faced shadow figure. Apparently, if you were to come face to face with this thing, it scars you for the rest of your life. There was also a chair in this forest, like a stone chair. And it was believed that if you sat in this chair, it would bring you bad luck. After a high school party, a girl came here with all her friends and she sat in that chair. 24 hours later, she died in a car crash. And yeah, let's show you guys around a little bit. The snow is deep, guys. I mean, look at this, ready? And luckily we have this truck, genuinely made for off-roading and stuff like that. And I will say, I don't know how much we're gonna be pushing it with this thing. We're probably gonna be doing a lot of traversing, a lot of walking. So yeah. What the hell was that? That was behind our tent.
Literally. Someone was like by the tent for a minute.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I have it ready. A spear box. Is there anyone here at our campsite right now? I couldn't get my van here, so this is the second best thing, I suppose.
Accidental.
Accidental?
Are we talking about the death that happened to you? What actually happened to you? Can you share that with us? But what was that noise, bro?
I don't know.
Hello? Oh my God, listen to that echo.
I know.
Hello?
Gosh.
Oh, what was that? That was a voice.
How far back does this forest go?
Miles. Like miles and miles and miles. Man.
Holy, bro. Sound like a little footstep over there. That sounds so weird because it's outside in the snow, but like I heard, yeah, it sounded like a crunch, like.
Okay. All right, guys, so we were just walking and we noticed over there's a sign that leads to a trail. Now, we have no idea where this one leads to. However, we were just filming for Chandler's channel and we experienced something so damn terrifying. We didn't go the right way, by the way.
Oh shit, wait.
Yeah, we're supposed to go down the trail.
Yeah, oh my God.
What the fuck?
What was that?
Chandler, that was a laugh.
Yeah.
As they move farther into the snow-covered woods, the mood shifts fast. Jasko begins hearing faint sounds carrying through the trees, voices that clearly are not coming from either of them. A few moments later, a sudden laugh cuts through the quiet from behind them. Chandler instantly reacts, turning around and searching the darkness. The forest responds before it shows itself.
Chandler?
What?
I was walking, I just kept like, something was like moving with me under the snow.
Oh, what the heck?
I mean, bro, they're dirty. I mean, you take a look at them.
Yeah.
So maybe they were just ditched here a while back. Clearly, this...
They had to have been a long time ago, like...
If there's anybody here with us that wants to communicate, can you let us know if you were someone who died here, a victim? Were you someone who went missing here? Was your body ever found? Please use your energy into my device here. It's so like eerily quiet.
Yeah.
So when you do hear something,
yeah,
it's like, okay,
yeah,
something's here. What the hell is that? Okay, this is actually freaking me out right now. Wait a second.
Huh?
I just heard a voice.
What?
I just heard a voice. It wasn't yours?
Nope. Wasn't talking.
Someone was here. You see these tracks?
Yeah.
I don't know how long ago, but someone was here. Hello!
Okay. All right.
Oh
all right.
my God. Okay, we are not alone out here. Yeah, let's start heading back.
Cool. What?
Oh, it's like, it's hard as shit.
Oh my God.
It's a hoodie, bro.
Who's taking their hoodie off in the middle of winter?
Well, we've seen tracks here. Chandler, people go missing in this forest. We just came across some personal belongings here.
Shit, hey, wait, you're right.
Farther down the trail, they come across abandoned objects frozen in the snow. First, an old pair of boots appears partly buried beneath the surface. Later, they find a New Hampshire hoodie hardened by ice. The clothing does not seem recently lost. In a forest connected to missing people, the discoveries feel intentional rather than random. The ground holds traces of people who may never have returned.
I don't think we should fuck with this.
No.
This is like really giving me bad vibes.
Yeah.
Can you give us a sign to let us know you're here? Whoa! Oh shit!
Dude, wait, did you see that?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, remember rules.
Yes. That almost sound like a tree knock. Let's see.
From
here.
where? I hate the woods, bro. It's so echoey out here.
Spirits, if there's someone here, can you replicate this noise for me?
Okay, bro. Like where? From freaking where?
It's just like the echo. God knows where it's coming from.
As the night grows darker, a clear whistle echoes through the trees. Jasko recognizes the sound right away. Local warnings say people should never whistle in the woods. Chandler becomes noticeably uneasy as the sound fades into the forest, leaving no obvious direction behind it. Some warnings exist because someone else already paid the price.
Chandler.
What?
They're glow sticks.
What?
Glow sticks.
What
Dude,
the
they've
heck?
been here for a while. If they're like basically underneath the snow. There's one right there as well. Bro, this one's underneath.
Wait, there's no way that those were there.
They weren't. We would have seen it before we even put the tent up. It was in front of the tent. We gotta make sure.
Hello? Wait, there could be someone in there.
Okay. So Chandler.
Yeah. Like what?
When we were here earlier, I said to you that if anyone else came out here apart from us, it would genuinely be stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, one, the weather.
Yeah.
Two, the driving conditions. But then we've seen footprints, recent footprints.
Yep.
So who would be out here and why? Well, someone clearly knows that we're here, obviously. That's a given. Okay, so guys, you can see it. Police just showed up. So apparently, they got some calls about a lot of weird shit going on in the forest. We just spoke to them a little bit, kind of just cleared up. We have nothing to do with whatever's going on. They really didn't want to tap too much into it. We showed them on our phone like some timestamps we have, like when we first got here, some text messages we sent, and they were like, okay, cool. I thought they were coming back.
Yeah.
But we kind of just cleared everything up, made sure that we were okay, and they were also saying that they don't think it's a good idea to spend the night here.
Yeah.
When they make it back to camp, glow sticks suddenly appear around the tent. Neither of them put them there. Soon after, Police arrive and warn them about strange activity in the area, telling them it is not safe to stay overnight. Even after that warning, Jasko chooses to continue. From that point forward, the forest...
Chandler, that was a fucking gunshot. That was a gunshot.
What was...
Chandler, that was a gunshot.
What do you mean? What the... Turn off... Yeah, fuck. Turn it off.
I'm trying. Is it the wind?
How the yes.
Wait, hold on. Shh. Wait. What is going on right now, Chandler?
Wait, what the... Is that a car? Was that seriously a gunshot?
That was a gunshot, 100%. 100%.
You're lying. Shh. Hey, do it quiet. Oh. Dude, what was that?
Oh! Chandler's another gunshot. We have to go. We have to go now.
It no longer feels empty as they try to sleep. Unfamiliar sounds return around the campsite. Then, 2 gunshots suddenly crack through the night nearby. That sound ends any hesitation. Jasko and Chandler quickly pack their gear and leave the campsite in the dark, choosing safety instead of answers. They do not stay to find out who fired, or why many viewers focused less on paranormal theories and more on human danger-marked campsites, distant voices, strange lights, and police warnings. If someone marked their campsite in the dark, were they waiting to come back after everyone had fallen asleep? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story. Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.